teaching music, students are taught to read notes. In integrating, usually they're not very involved in note reading. They might be, but usually not. In teaching music, students play instruments. In integrating music, students are not likely to play instruments, but they can learn to play other sources for sound, like their desks or their bodies, okay? And use other sound sources rather than instruments. Now, can you still teach musical principles with other sound sources? You bet you can, okay? And we've got work to show you on that, too. So when you're integrating music, do start with 2- and 3-note songs, and today we're going to do some 2-note songs. And the reason for that is you want your students to successfully match pitch. And I can tell you from years and years of working with music teachers that one of the first things they'll complain about is the classroom teachers who teach songs that go all over the place and expect the students to sing louder. Okay? If you sing louder, everybody's going to like the program. And I've heard so many music teachers who said if they would just stick to easy songs and have them sing in a normal voice, it would make my job a whole lot easier. Okay? So I'm going to give you some examples of 2-note songs that you can sing with your students, and I'm also going to teach you how to come up with your own 2-note songs. Give students many opportunities to sing. It can't be something that you just do 2 weeks before the program on February 6th. Okay? You've got to have opportunities in your classroom to sing all year. And think about that. Would you, if you were going to have kids play in a competitive anything game, fill in the blank, football, hockey, any game, or if you were going to have them compete in anything individual, swimming, gymnastics, tennis, any other individual sport, would you start training the week before? Same thing with music. Don't start your music experience a week before the program. Integrate music in your classroom the entire year, and that program and the opportunity for it will evolve, okay, and you'll be more prepared. Do sing higher than what you were used to, because children have higher voices, and this is not just a preference thing. This is also a question of, I'm coming over here because there's hopefully a little bit of cool air. This is also a question of not ruining voices, because when you sing too low for kids, it really does strain their vocal cords, and they're going to get laryngitis or later on in life vocal nodes. You don't want to hurt their voices, all right? So for the most part, adults are much more comfortable singing down here, and kids sing up here, and so you really have to push yourself to sing in the higher registers when you're working with kids. Do incorporate movement. Now, I just know that when you go home at night and you're listening to music from whatever source, whether it's Pandora, your iPod, I don't know if people listen to the radio anymore, but we do in our car. But I know that when you're listening to music, there's part of you that's moving. Probably subconsciously. But maybe you're happy and you're just kind of tooting along with the music, and maybe you're really rocking out, I don't know. But most of the time when people are listening to music, there is part of their body, someplace that's moving. It might be tapping, it might be snapping, there might be a foot, there might be a toe, it might be barely perceptible, sorry, wrong word. But you're probably moving someplace when you listen to music. And that's because music and movement are like this too, okay? And we know already about learning that if we can integrate movements into what we're doing, we're putting it in the whole body. So if you're clapping syllables, your kids will understand syllables better. If you are using some sort of total physical response, TPR, to memorize math facts, your kids are going to memorize those math facts better. All right? Case in point, when we work with counting with first grade, we typically, I think this is probably most schools now, if not all, we typically teach them that when they're counting by ones, they clap when they get to 10, 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And it helps that patterning of being able to remember where the numbers are in time and space when the kids are counting. Do provide safe opportunities for children to sing in a large group, in small groups, and alone. And we'll talk more about that, and do have fun. And that's hopefully as much as I guess there's one more slide, doggone. As much as I'm going to talk. Don't compare children's voices. That's just like saying you're ugly. So, not in any way, shape, or form. I don't care if you're practicing for a program and somebody is tone deaf and you know it because they're in the front row. But sandwich that person between two kids who can sing, but do not tell them that they have an ugly voice or that they shouldn't sing because they're not on pitch. Because again, that's just like saying you're ugly. Don't expect children to do in front of you what you're not willing to do in front of them. And this was a hard one for me because I'm an okay singer. I'm not phenomenal. I'm not even very good. I'm an okay. I'm good enough. Okay. I had to get comfortable with my voice in front of kids and be willing to use my voice in front of kids. But the hard part for me wasn't using my voice. The hard part was learning to move in front of my students because I have two left feet. And I don't do movement stuff easily. I kind of collapse on the floor if I'm asked to move in front of people. And so that was a really hard one for me to learn to use movement and do movement with my kids. But if you're not comfortable doing it, then you can't expect your kids to be comfortable doing it. Don't discourage conversation movement because language and movement are so connected. And so if you're going to teach music, you're going to have some conversation. It's just going to happen. Don't expect all children to love music because they won't. Michael Hart didn't. I loved Michael Hart. I had him for 4 years. Great kid. He was so good in everything and he absolutely detested, hated music. And so we finally involved him in all the programs we had by allowing him to dress in black and be a stagehand. And that's how he got through those years. He just hated music. Don't ever tell a child that he or she can't sing or doesn't have a good enough voice. And again, that is simply saying you're ugly.